understand what data they should use to make smart investment decisions. And Ameritrade has done a fantastic job, as have a lot of their peers, in terms of developing out very comprehensive educational campaigns. But in other countries, it's the market that really serves that role only, because they don't have the benefit of such a great ecosystem that we have in the United States. And then in the US, what we focus on is actually really helping entrepreneurs understand how to run a business. And there are so many amazing people out in our country and everywhere that have great ideas, but turning those ideas into businesses and dealing with the blocking and tackling of running those businesses it's not a natural talent. So we've launched through our foundation the Entrepreneur Center, where we've brought in anyone can be a member. It's free to be a member, and you can come in and get access to great educational programming on how to grow a business. And we're really proud of what we've done there.
This is a great story. We should keep going here, but we've got a few more minutes. It's very, very interesting that not very long ago, if you told people that the Dow would go up to 25,000 or something, they'd laugh you out of the room. And so when it gets up there, small cuts in the market, in your market as well, are significant numbers. And yet the percentage on up and down is what years ago were a few dollars. How does all of this attract people or detract people from being in the market? And what do we do now to educate people that are out on the networks and other places opining on this with passionate breadth, and when it's really a small move?
Yeah. Well, I think that the media likes to, they want to try to get people to watch their programs, so they talk about it a lot. But
it's called advertising money.
But I think from our perspective, I would say that the one thing I always say is that intraday volatility, you can watch some, I would say, opportunities evolve during the day where the fundamentals of a company aren't necessarily reflected in the stock market price intraday. But we also, if you watch, also note that over the period of days, that tends to calibrate itself. Because what happens is intraday, you've got very quick thinking, short-term oriented thinking, and I would say a lot of machine-driven thinking that's happening in the markets. But once the humans get engaged and they have a chance to absorb whatever news is coming out and whatever is impacting the markets, you watch that calibration start to impact and come in as the human decisions get filtered into those markets on the back of news or events that are happening. So it's really a matter of making sure you don't look at a single day and assume anything. You really have to look at things over time. You have to look at trends over time. And you have to have your own sense of, is the economy on the right track? And as you've seen what happened in the fourth quarter, I think people recognized as they were dealing with a lot of news, but they were then coming back to themselves and saying, but the economy is on the right track. When I talk to CEOs, they're saying business is booming, demand hasn't changed. And so I kind of knew from those conversations that things would recalibrate, because it just felt like the underpinnings and the fundamentals would come back into calibration, and that's what happened in the first quarter.
We're all worried around the world, in India here, about what's going on in cyber. We're worried about our privacy. We're worried about our electrical systems. We're worried about our healthcare systems. The majority of us are worried for the lack of knowledge. Of course, institutions like yours and ours have the benefit of the smartest people in the world. Tell us how you have organized your thinking and your business to feel more comfortable about those challenges than you would have years ago.
Well, I think the first thing is, the good news about cyber is no one sees that as a competitive advantage, meaning we all work very hard together to make sure we're protecting ourselves. And so the level of communication within the business community, I think, has gotten much better. And it's hard because on the one hand, you see things that you want to make sure you're protecting yourself and then share, but at the same time, that sharing is important. So there is a lot more communication today than I think there was before. The second is that we do get to rely on great companies, frankly, like Google and Amazon and Microsoft in the cloud, where they've developed very advanced technology in the infrastructure space. And we've moved more and more of not our markets themselves, but a lot of our products into the cloud, where we get the benefit of enhanced security. And then the third thing is we do get the benefit of attracting great talent. And that talent, and there are so many products that we can then leverage with our talent to make sure we're constantly vigilant and focused on cyber. But it's a risk to everyone. And so I think that shared risk means there's a huge market for IT security products and capabilities that list on Nasdaq, and that, but that also we get to integrate into our infrastructure. We have the benefit of using the cloud and the advanced technology that's available there. And then I do think that information sharing is getting better with every year.
Okay, now I've got the last question, is the hardest question. And that is, I'm going to give you a minute or 2 minutes to have a free flow with the audience.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I do think that one thing that we all are grappling with as a business community is the role that we play in the economy and the role that we play in society. And I think it's becoming more and more of a global consideration. So you see a lot of what they call ESG and the environment, social, and governance practices, and the level of discipline that you're starting to really see develop in Europe. It's definitely coming to the U.S., and that orientation from investors around making sure that you can do well financially while you do good for your society is something that I do feel like is getting more attention. But it's also something that I think it's an important element of the corporate responsibility today to make sure we're serving our shareholders by serving our communities and making sure that we think about our role in society. And it's something that Tom talks a lot actually, in our board meetings and in private meetings, as to how we can make sure that we're taking our place in society and in the economy and taking it and making sure that we have a societal benefit that we draw from. Nasdaq has been focused on entrepreneurship. We've also been focused on developing out doing a lot more for our communities than we've done in the past. But I think every company now has a great opportunity because investors are actually looking for that. And they're looking for companies to take that responsibility. So we see it as actually a very good development to see that more alignment of investors and companies to say, what can we do for our society as well as what can we do for our economy?
We're really glad you came. You richly deserve that award, and you did a hell of a job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you.
इश्क सोच के कीता ते की कीता दिल दे के दिल लैंड दी आस रखी.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're enjoying the program so far. At this time, we will be taking a short break until 3:45 p.m., after which we will be joined by U.S. Secretary of State Michael Pompeo.